show, we're going to talk about a foolproof, perfected way to get people, i.e. your competitors, from stop bidding on your damn brand terms. All the other videos that you're going to basically find on YouTube on this topic that exist are all pretty much just bullshit. This video actually works most of the time. I say foolproof, we'll say 90+% of the time. And it's something I have personally used multiple times, so I can speak for it myself as somebody who just does PPC for clients all day long, have a few dozen clients, and we've run across this issue time to time and then use this method to block people from using those brand terms, which bid up the cost of bidding on your brand term, but more importantly, loses you customers because they're going to bleed off some customers when people search for your brand name and get distracted and click on their ad. I mean, ultimately that's what it does. They buy from them, they ain't buying from you anymore. So with that said, I'll go through what the actual method is here, how you can go about actually doing it, where to go, and so forth, so you can actually get your competitors from stop bidding on your brand terms most of the time. So let's get into it. So first of all, Google, by and large, which is the reason why all these other YouTubers that tell you this is how to not bid on your, or have your competitors bid on your brand terms, why all those videos are bullshit. The reason for that is because Google's going to let you bid on any damn term you want, as long as you got cash in your pocket and air in your lungs. So if you're going to actually stop someone from bidding on your brand terms, and the reason why I made this video, you have to use an alternate technique that where you put the action in your own hands, not Google's hands. And not just by making your ad better so that your ad will show up above theirs. No, I mean actually getting their ad to leave the platform on your brand terms that you actually are wanting to do and what you're here for. So here's the 4-step method, the proven method here, right? First thing you're going to do, and this all revolves around threatening your competitors legally. I will start off by saying and give you the caveat that this is not illegal for your competitors to bid on your brand terms, okay? It's just not. This has been tested in court. You can look up the flowers.com case. However, you could psychologically trick your competitor into not bidding on your brand terms and get them to not bid on your brand terms. And in business, as far as I'm concerned, as long as we're not forcing our competitor to do something that they wouldn't want to do, it's still fair game. It's up to them to decide if they want to stop doing it. We're just simply asking them. We're asking them in a semi-direct way or semi-forceful way to just stop bidding on our brand terms. Respectively, they're stealing customers from you, so you shouldn't feel bad for tricking them into not bidding on your brand terms. I don't see any issue with that. So, and you basically reach out to them and say, hey, stop bidding on our brand terms or we're going to sue you. That's the short of it, okay? But there's details to this plan that it's where you are actually going to get it to work 90% of the time. Why do we know that? Because we actually have done this before. So what you do, and you can do this very cheaply, because I know what you're saying already. You could say, Corey, well, don't you have to hire a lawyer to do this kind of thing? And lawyers are like $200 an hour in my city, and then I'm going to have to talk to them, all this other bullshit. And the answer to that is no, you don't. You could actually get a lawyer off of Fiverr.com nowadays for $20. You can get a lawyer to send anybody anything, essentially, that you want them to send. You simply got to go to Fiverr.com and search for demand letter service, or just type in the words demand letter in the search bar at Fiverr.com, and you'll get all kinds of lawyers pimping out their services that'll do just what I said. They'll literally send anything to anybody. And they'll do it as a lawyer so that at the end of the letter they can say, XYZ person, lawyer. So you know, you don't have to lie and say you're a lawyer or hire your own lawyer technically. What usually gets people when you send them a letter to get them to ask them to do something or stop doing something, a cease and desist letter, which is basically what this is the reputation of the lawyer and, you know, it coming from a big law firm. I do admit this. So when you have a legal letter coming from a lawyer and a law firm that nobody's heard of per se before, it doesn't have quite the effect, but it's enough of an effect when you go through the rest of this plan that will make it effective anyway and still keep your costs low. You don't have to hire a high-end firm to do this, because if you hired a real professional firm to do this same type of thing, it might cost you $1,000 or whatever. You don't have to do this. When you're going to do this to each competitor, you know, the cost can kind of add up. A lot of these Fiverr services, by the way, where the lawyer's doing this, they'll put a little website together for a law firm so that the letter, if they go Google who the hell sending them the letter, they'll actually see a website there with the law firm. It doesn't show that they have one employee. It's a one-employee firm. So all practical purposes, it just leaves it up in the air. Maybe they're a big firm, maybe they're not, which is already good enough. So I recommend finding one that has a law firm, not just it's a lawyer, but like has a firm and has a website. And if you wanted to know, you could just ask them. Because there's 20, 30, 40, 50 people there willing to do this service for you. So you could find one who actually has a little website online where you can actually verify this is a real firm for the few people that do that. Practically speaking, I don't think too many people actually go Google the law firm that the cease and desist letter that people get to verify this. Some will, absolutely. But I don't think it's most. I think it's probably less than half. And then for those people, you're going to fool most of them because there's a website there that makes you look like a big firm. I mean, practically speaking, if you just have some site there and don't list how many employees you have, that's already going to trick most people. So that's my tip there. So you find the lawyer there that has a little site, has a firm. From there, step 2, you're going to call your competitor, that's bidding on your brand term, and ask them where to send legal inquiries. Okay? Which that kind of seems dumb at the surface. Why are you gonna call them and ask them where to send legal inquiries when you can just send it to the address on their website? The reason for this is very specific, or there's a specific reason for this. Because if the letter goes to the general inbox at the company, it can get tossed out accidentally really easily. Or if someone opens the letter and then it's something about Google Ads, it can go to the marketing department, and the marketing department could already know that you can bid on a brand term and it's not actually legal. It's not anti-trademark. It's not violating trademark law. What you wanted to do is go to the lawyer, because the lawyers are getting paid money and have no incentive to do anything risky, we'll say, and they'll just advise the client to stop doing this right away. You would think the lawyer would know that this is not breaking the law, but they don't know Google Ads trademark case law unless they research it. And some might actually know this, but for what we find, it's not. It fools them overall. So I know the lawyers don't know this law. If it's a smaller company, this is going to basically work every time because they don't have a law firm on retainer ready to go, and the owner of the company is super risk averse, and they definitely don't know you can't bid on a brand term, and they're just going to tell their Google Ads guy just get rid of it. But so anyway. Sending it to the right person can help. If it's a small company, of course you can just send it to the owner, because the owner is going to read every piece of mail. At a company over, let's say, $1 million a year in sales, the mail's read by somebody else, that even if it's sent to the owner or screened by them, and it may not make it to the owner. Even though this seems like an important piece that should make it to the owner, not always will it. I just want to make sure that if I'm paying somebody to send out a demand letter, it's going to the right place and it's going to have the effect I want. Number 3, you will hire your Fiverr lawyer, and you're going to have them, of course, send that demand letter out. You're basically in the letter going to say that you're violating our trademark by bidding on our brand term on Google, just like you would think you would do here, and you need to stop it right away or we're going to sue you. I mean, that's the gist of it. If you want an actual template of what to send out that we're sending out to people actually, you can reach out to us at our firm, guaranteeppc.com, and I'll give you the template. But I think for the most part you can figure out, it's not that complicated on making what I said, putting that to paper. Now, the final step here is to keep sending them, because usually one is not going to do the job, okay? If I recommend sending 3 in a row. Send one, wait 2 weeks. Send one, wait another couple weeks. And then send another, and then wait another month, and then send another. So like in total, you're going to send 3 at least. And each letter should reference the previous letter. Hey, just following up, we told you XYZ that you were violating our trademark. We haven't heard back from you. We're strongly considering proceeding forward if we don't, on our lawsuit, if we don't hear, and for damages, if we don't hear back from you soon. We would like to hear back from you by XYZ date, so we know that you're willing to comply. Otherwise, with no compliance, we'll be forced to move forward. That's the kind of thing you want to say. I know this is effective this way, by the way, because anytime you don't give a deadline for something, you get procrastination. You have a deadline, that lights a fire under their ass to stop doing it right away or sooner than later. It's more effective that way. We just know this. So do it that way specifically. We're giving them a deadline. And use language like, you're leaving us no choice. Now that's not obviously exactly how a lawyer would say it, but we're following up on the last letter where you violated our trademark. We're looking to move forward. You're not giving us much choice but to file this paperwork against you. Please remove it by XYZ date. So, and then each letter should progressively sound more serious than the previous one. And if you keep doing this, they'll get so scared they'll just remove it. You got to think about this. Even if it's totally legal to bid on someone's brand term, nobody wants to get sued. If you send enough letters to them, they're going to think the statistical likelihood that they're going to get sued is high enough to just stop doing it. It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth the potential gain of bidding on your brand term to just continue doing it. Because then they're going to have to hire a lawyer to respond, and it's going to be, even if they win, they lose. Whoever has the most money in the legal world wins, because they can afford to respond to the most paperwork, and the other side can just bury them in paperwork. Which you technically could do. You could follow this up. If they would not respond to what I'm saying here, and they're in the 10% that's just going to say F you, we're going to bid on it anyway, even after multiple letters to them, you could just actually hire a lawyer and actually sue them. And then they'll probably stop at that point in time. We don't do that with our clients, and for all practical purposes, it's not usually worth it to do it, but if it was worth it to do it, that should actually get the rest of the extra 10% that won't respond to your multiple letters and threats like that. You should be able to get a 95% of those people to just stop. They were trying to make it seem like they are the company, and they worded it such a way where it wasn't a deliberate copy, if you will. But most people don't read the ads completely, and they're just going to think they're on the original site that they were looking for, having seen that exact person's trademark on the ad. Now, the fact that you use their trademark term on the ad itself, that is trademark violation, and it is trademark law, and you can actually stop them, according to trademark law if you wanted to by suing them. Versus them bidding on your brand term, it's not in violation of trademark law yet, but you can get them to stop bidding on your brand term with these other things here. But even if they're just bidding on your brand term and they don't say your company name in the ad, I can tell you from experience, only half of the people are going to read the ad that you have in detail. What people will ultimately do is they type in like XYZ flags, and then they assume whatever ads that are on the top of Google are going to be ads that are what are relevant to what they're searching for. They let Google do the thinking for them, in other words. So there's going to be a lot of times they're just going to click on that, and if the site doesn't look that much different, or they can't remember what the site looks like, they're going to buy from them instead of you, just because they're not paying attention, really. And so even though they're not violating your trademark outright by having your brand name in the ad, they're just going to get some of your repeat customers that way, because half the people don't read the ads very well. We know this. To give you, and to prove this a little bit further out, in local services like home services, like plumbing services, or flooring services and the like, we just stay completely away from targeting brand terms where somebody's typing in one of our competitors' keywords, which is their brand name. Why? Because people don't read the ad before they click on it enough times. And so what you get is an avalanche of people typing in that competitor's name, seeing our ad that doesn't try to trick them into thinking we're that competitor, but click on our ad anyway, get to our site, not read anything there either, then calling, and then finding out 3 minutes into the call that they aren't calling that competitor in question, and then hanging up, and then going back to Google to find that actual competitor in the first place. So, in other words, by trying to simply show up on Google when somebody's typing in one of our competitors to try to convince them that we have a better product or service, half the time they're just not even going to read that ad, and they're just going to assume we are that competitor, if you will. So with that kind of case study, if you will, in mind, just know that if they're bidding on your brand terms, they're siphoning off a certain amount of your business, particularly if if it's not easy to distinguish you from that competitor, if you will. So it can be very effective if besides talking about like home services, if you're doing like insurance quotes, it'd be really easy for someone to bid on your brand term, trick them to go to their site instead of yours by bidding on your brand terms, filling out a form on their site, and they really don't know who they're dealing with until they've already purchased that insurance package, if that makes sense. So in a lot of markets, you could lose a lot of business, ultimately. In local services, what some people will do, going back to that, is they'll bid on your brand terms, and then, like I said before, a lot of people won't read the ad. They'll just assume what Google shows as far as an ad is what is that competitor, and then so they'll get that person to come to their site. They won't read the site again, like I said before, and then they'll call, and then when they answer the phone, they'll be like, plumbing services, and not say the name of the company, so that they ultimately get somebody to go to their house for plumbing services and got the service, the whole service, and still don't know they didn't get the plumbing company they originally searched for. That makes sense. So there's more of a risk and more of a damage to your business having a competitor show up for your brand terms than you think there is. And so, whereas this might seem really obnoxious to do this might save you an additional 10% of your revenue every year if you did make sure you cleaned up all your brand, all your brand searches so that nobody could show up above you. There's 4 ads on top of your organic listing, so even if you're ranked first organically, there's 4 ads at the top of your organic listing, which siphon off 20-30% of the clicks you normally would have got on your organic listing, because that's about what it is. Because every ad's going to have 5% or so click-through, and then there's 4 ads at the top of Google. You can see how it can be 20% of the people that was going to go to your site after typing in your brand name now go to somebody else's site. So that's 20% of that that business you should have got is now going somewhere else, if that makes sense. Yes, some of it will go back to Google and realize they're not in the right place. Yes, that's true, but you get the general gist of what I'm saying here. So just something to think about, and just trying to put this into better frame of reference for you, like what you're losing by having your competitors actually be able to show up for your branded keywords. So, And of course, you may need to actually trademark your brand name so that when you send the letter, you can actually say our brand name is trademarked. Because obviously that you can't lie. You can say, the brand is trademarked, we don't want you to do this, and ask them to stop, or you're suing them, and that's technically not lying itself, if you will. Once you say, if you're not trademarked and you say you're trademarked, that's illegal. Anyway, and trademarking a brand term is like $500 to a lawyer, to a specialized lawyer that does that. So it's basically nothing. Anyway, so you might as well just do that. Anyway, with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you. Hopefully, you have the success with it that we do. If you haven't or don't, when you try this, let me know and I'll try to help you through it and give you some more tips. You just have to reach out to me afterwards. But with that said, I hope if you have any questions about anything that I covered here, leave me a comment below. I'll get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. You can ask me any question related to ads or online ads you'd like. I'm a 20-year ad expert. I'd be more than happy to try to give back and answer any questions you have as a give back for just watching the channel here. If you want to, make millions of dollars with your ads, this is the channel for you. This is the channel that can make you millions of dollars with your ads, as it comes from somebody who does ad strategy all day long and giving you the working stuff that's working on our clients' campaigns to guarantee the results is on this channel specifically. If you like the channel, by the way, you can also find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as follow me on that. I have a column that I write at entrepreneur.com as well. If you are looking for the best ad manager you can find, you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be more than happy to give you a free analysis on your campaigns as they exist right now and see if we can work together on a contingency basis where we will not charge you any fees until we can increase your sales a minimum amount on the same ad spend you have now or something like thereof. The only catch is we got to like what you have and know we can get great results with it. But if you want to see if we can work together, if you reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to look over what you have and see if that's possible. Also though, if you're not looking for an ad manager per se or an agency per se to help you, take on just getting you results on autopilot like we do, you can also reach out to us and see if we've worked in your market before. If we have, we can tell you what results you can get with the ads that we've developed for your market and just buy those from us and literally get copy-paste results that you can apply in your own ad accounts. We sell the ads, landing page templates, the campaign templates, all of that to get the same results that we have in your market. We've worked in over 100 markets at this stage. So chances are we've worked in your market, and even if we haven't, of course, we'll just say it's certainly worth the time to just see if we worked in your market, because if we have, you're going to shortcut your way to success by years and many, many thousands of dollars. As a side, if you are looking for an ad manager though, and you do not want to pay the high fees of working with an ad agency per se, you can actually reach out to us. We're now taking applications for people that want to have us work on their accounts or whatever, or their campaigns, so that we can show the results that our strategies get on your account and then share with the channel and our community here the results of the stuff that we do while we work on your account. In exchange, we will ask for no fees. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me. We're taking applications. We'll see if we can do that together as well. GuaranteedPPC.com is where you can find me for that. As a side, as a final way that we also work with clients, by the way, is we partner with businesses. In that, if you want to only pay on, basically we can work on your account for free and not take any fees until we raise your sales. We take between 1 to 10% of your sales revenue growth at your company, and then with that we partner with your company directly and long term. And with that, you don't pay unless you're starting to make more sales, and that's literally how we work together with our clients. So we partner with several companies at this stage, all of which are doing extremely well, which we can share with you in a discussion. If you're interested in that as well, you can reach out to us. And that is also how you could potentially work with us. That's outside the typical monthly service fee agency model. So anyway, with that said, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com if you're interested in any of those things. And I'd appreciate it if you would like the video on the way out. I'd appreciate it if you would like the video on the way out, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.